welcome, welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to the community briefing. Today is the 12th of September, 2024, and we are glad you're here today. We have a wonderful show. My name is Gregory Sneed, and owner and CEO of Lifesaver Financial Services, helping my clients to keep more of the money they make. And now I'm going to bring to the virtual stage the queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome to the community briefing. Glad to be here 2 days after, or 1 day after, 2 days after the incredible debate. It was well worth sitting at your house. I had a couple glasses of wine, some popcorn, and I was enjoying myself thoroughly. It was awesome. So welcome to the community briefing. We are here today. We are, 51 days out from voting. So today, I think that's our conversation today. So many things are going on in that space. We need to be laser focused on getting Vice President Kamala Harris into the White House, and all of the folks that we need to get into the House, the Senate, the Congress, and our local government. So we need to be focused, laser focused on voting. This platform is powered by Recycling Black Dollars and the BBA. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. We're monetarily sponsored by Los Angeles LDC at California Edison, PCR, Wells Fargo Bank, and SoCal Gas. We want to thank you for joining us. We have an awesome team here. Ms. Robin Billups, she'll be telling you who she is shortly. Mr. Greg Sneed, I don't know what happened to Greg. Greg just disappeared. Oh, there he is down there. Greg Sneed and Mr. Stephen Turner. We would not have we wouldn't have guests if we didn't have Stephen. So thank you, Stephen. That's his role. And then I am the inspiration behind this platform. This is our networking platform. This is our community platform. This is our voice. So let's use it to elevate our status in our communities and let people know who the leaders and stakeholders are and what is going on in the communities that are important to us. We have our regulars that are here, and then we have a great guest today, and Greg will introduce him to you very shortly, but I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Robin.
Good day, everybody. And yes, I'm like Crystal. I think all of us are jazzed up. You know, we got 50 something days to go, but that's more importantly, make sure you understand when is the last day that you can actually register so that you can vote. Your vote does matter. And there's some black girl magic going on right about now. You know, I'm not going there right now. I'm Robin Billups with the Billups Group. I'm a consultant. I work with entrepreneurs and corporations looking to help them establish their strategic framework around the goals that they've set. I'm going to kick it over to Greg because we do have two great guests today. And again, the whole mission this week is to make sure we get our focus on the voter registration and the voting process and the November important date. Gregory.
All right. So thanks, everyone. I had to take a quick break. I'm so used to having my AC on at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I hadn't kicked it on yet. It was starting to warm up and I had the window open. So, man, was that a heat wave something else. I mean, Friday, I think it was downtown LA was 112. And I was in the marina and it was 99 or 100. No breeze, no sea breeze, nothing on Friday. So quite something. Anyway, we've got some hot topics and hot stuff for you today. So if you thought it was hot previously, welcome till you finish this program because it's going to be blazing hot, right? Our guests today, we actually have two guests. So our first guest that we're going to have is Owen Smith, and he's the owner operator of the Miracle Theater here in Inglewood. And I am a resident and business owner in Inglewood. And so for the past 2 decades, Owen has played an important role in the LA area and real estate industries. He's been involved in real estate development. He started off his career, looked like as a DP in the either film or TV area, director of photography. and real estate development. And since 2016, he has been the owner and operator of the Miracle Theater on downtown Inglewood, located on South Market Street. And it was an abandoned theater. I guess it was built in 1937. So it's been revitalized, and that whole corridor there is being revitalized. Inglewood is on the rise. Inglewood is it hasn't peaked yet, but man, it's moving up. I'm sure our second guest, Aisha Thompson from the City of Inglewood, will be sharing some more information with us. So, without further delay, we're going to bring to our virtual stage Owen Smith.
Beauty. You got me? You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for the intro, Greg. You hit all the points at the Miracle Theater, and yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks for bringing me back. Actually, Robin and I were talking. We were trying to figure out how to get that message out of voter registration. So I'll keep mine brief, and I'm happy to return afterwards. I know Aisha, City Clerk of Inglewood, has a tight schedule. She's got a lot on her plate. But I let me lay the groundwork here, because I was brought on to talk a little bit about my personal story. And it's interesting. My parents had a bookstore in northern Florida, in St. Augustine, Florida, and I realized what I'm doing here in LA is essentially an extension of what they did, which was community building in a small town in the South. My folks are from the North, New York City, and didn't really understand what they were getting into. And I would agree with that experience. My wife and I, Mariana and I, really didn't know exactly what we were doing when we came to the great city of Inglewood. We saw an opportunity to be part of a revitalizing South LA. I had just read a 2015 study put out by UCLA, real estate Department of Real Estate, which was essentially saying that South LA was the next area to be developed in the city of Los Angeles. So fortunately, I was raised in a way culturally that we were exposed to lots of different viewpoints. And so for us, we never questioned, oh, is this something we could do? It was actually more about excitement about being part of a changing downtown Inglewood. So we knew about the K line. We did some research. I hopped on my push bike, my bicycle, followed the line, and came across Market Street. And that's what led us to the Miracle Theater. But now, 8 years later, because that was in 2015, we closed on the Miracle Theater. Like Greg said, it had been abandoned. It is the oldest theater in Inglewood, 1937. So 8 years later, we are certainly in the community. We've been working hard to connect and uplift and support city initiatives and community efforts to kind of recreate or bring back the downtown area. And now that Prairie has been essentially developed with the opening of the Intuit Dome, I feel like, and it seems like it's happening, that the city of Inglewood is now moving its attention. I'm not sure how many people drive Manchester every day, but there's and whether you like them or not, the WOW media signs, right? They're building one that's right in front of Doolin's, and that's going to say, welcome to downtown Inglewood, I believe. Welcome to the gateway to Inglewood, Market Street. And it's essentially welcoming people who are coming to Prairie. We got to remember, right? Like, most people coming to Inglewood are going to these huge events. Now, obviously, there's a community here. It's a community that's been here, and there's a lot for everybody to grow with. I mean, on a business side, for sure. And as far as creating a space that that Inglewood residents feel proud of, that's what Mariana and I are all about. That's what we're working on. But I wanted to circle back to the voter registration because it has a lot to do with who I am and where I come from. After my parents closed the bookstore because of Barnes and Noble and because my mom was ready to move on, she actually was part of the, believe it or not, there is a Democratic Party in Northern Florida. And one of her efforts that she did every election cycle was go drive and pick people up and take them to the voting booth. I mean, that's what she did. And so when the idea of how can the Miracle Theater kind of support, and it's not a party, but instead engagement, civic engagement, we just want people to vote and understand what the issues are. So like on October 13th, there's a group called Better Youth Incorporated. They work with foster children or young adults who've come out of the foster system. They're going to be here at the Miracle Theater doing an event trying to educate and excite these young foster kids on what's on the line and how they can make a difference. So that's something this Saturday, or is it? No, next Tuesday. And Aisha I'll turn this over to Aisha, because on Tuesday, the City of Inglewood, I believe, is doing something for voter registration. So it really is a community effort to get people engaged and ready to make a difference. Aisha, would you like to take over at this point?
Let me jump in first right quick. When Owen and I were talking about this, and again, the community briefing, every week we talk about the vote. It's not just because it's a national election, because again, down ballot is more important and affects us every day. And so when I was talking to Owen about the fact that he has an operation that operates outside of what we call normal business hours, he's open late, he has young adults that are coming there. And then Owen says, well, Robin, I'm working with the City of Inglewood. Why don't we talk to the city clerk, Aisha Thompson, and bring her on to the community briefing, introduce her to the briefing, let her introduce her to us as a community and create an alliance. And so Aisha, please give us a little bit of your background and then talk about this alliance that you've created with the Miracle Theater and specifically with the piece around voting.
Okay, thank you so much, Robin, for the invitation to be here with everyone. And again, Owen, it's always a pleasure to see you. I think Owen and I see each other at least 2 or 3 times a week now. So that's a good thing. But let me just give you a little background history on myself. I started off working in the California State Assembly at the age of 22 years old with Assemblymember Jerome Horton. And then I worked there for 6 years. The assembly represents, at that time, it represented Inglewood, Hawthorne, Lawndale, and some parts of Lenox and Playa Vista. And then thereafter, once he was termed out after he served his 6 years, then I came down and worked for his wife, Yvonne Horton. And I worked here for 15 years in this one office, City Clerk's office, with Yvonne Horton. And then in 2020, she decided that she wasn't going to run anymore and that she was ready to retire. And so I was afforded the opportunity to run for this position. And so now I've served as the elected official for 4 years and is looking forward to being reelected in November, as I am the only one on the ballot. No one has, chose to run against me. So I'll serve another 4 years after, come November. So I have had my long share. It's been about 24 years now in public policy, working with, of course, our residents here in Inglewood, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. And, I'm, like I say, 24 years, I'm 26 years old. You'll catch that later.
Greg
But,
already
you know,
got it. Greg got something lined up already, so be careful.
But I've been doing this a long time, and I'm thankful. You know, I'm really thankful and grateful to our residents and to the people that I work with. You know, we've really built a relationship. But as it relates to
Aisha,
election,
just a real quick thing. Jerome and Yvonne live right over my back wall.
oh
So-
my God, yes, those are my bosses.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I know exactly where you live. Okay, yes. So just to, the importance, of my job is to oversee the voting, here in the city of Inglewood and also for the Inglewood Unified School District. We want to make sure that, and even if the council were to have a special election to put something on the ballot, that's something that my office handles. I can tell you that I was tasked with the job of reapportionment, changing our city around when I first got elected. So the census came out and they said, okay, it's time that we revisit this kind of stuff. So I had to do that. My office handles a whole lot. We're the gateway to the city. We're the history keeper to the city. You want to sue the city, you come through the city clerk's office. You want to obtain documents about the city, you come through the city clerk's office. The laws and policies that are passed through the council, once they finish, my office is the one that gets them codified and then put into law, sent over to the courthouse. So we do a lot here in the city clerk's office. And again, I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve. Now we're going to fast forward to our election. We're in election season, and everyone, as Owen had mentioned, I'm so busy. I am pulled in every direction. Just this morning, I visited Inglewood High School to talk about the importance of voting. We didn't get there all the way, but we've postponed it, and we're going to have an assembly in about 2 weeks where the 12th graders will be at an assembly, and then we're going to talk about getting them registered to vote, and not only registering, but the importance of voting. And again, we have been asked to participate in a lot of Black clubs, parties and events, a lot of community outreaches. People want us to come and talk about, voter registration, bring voter registration cards. So I think we're going to have a great turnout this year come November, for the presidential election. I think it's going to be a great turnout.
Now you have an event coming up. Two of the things that we talked about, one is to have materials from the city of Inglewood for voter registration located at the Miracle Theater.
Mhm.
So that when people come there in the evening time, when everybody else is closed up and folks are socializing, it truly is an opportunity for folks to have easy access to that information. But you guys also have you're going to be hosting something coming up pretty quickly here. So give us some information about that.
Yes, absolutely. So National Voter Registration Day is September the 17th. And so this year we've decided to open the office doors wide open and invite the people that are coming in to visit City Hall to come in, learn about the importance of voting, to register to vote. If they have any questions about voting, if they've changed their address and they need to, re-register, that's what we're going to be doing. We're also going to make it fun. So, and interesting. They're going to be able to spin the wheel. They can answer a question, win a prize. We have good prizes, by the way. I was just reviewing some of them, and, we have the gift cards to Chick-fil-A and Starbucks and Amazon. So we did a good job here. We have the nice cups for people. So we have some nice giveaways. So the incentive is going to be great. With us trying to, get people in and, answer their questions, and also getting them registered to vote or re-register. Now, you guys, I just want to respectfully correct, people when they say, oh, there's a last day to register to vote. There's really not a last day to register to vote. I wish we would stop saying that, because we can actually go to the polls on election day, register right then and there, and vote right then and there. Okay, so I want people to know that, yes, when you say that's the last day to register to vote, for example, October the 21st being the last day to register to vote, that's so you can get a ballot
Yeah.
mailed to you. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's what that means. That means let's register by October 21st so that you can receive a ballot in the mail. That's what that means. That doesn't mean that that's the last day so you won't be able to vote, because then we're misleading our public. We don't want to say that. We want to say, well, if you missed the deadline to receive a ballot in the mail, you can still go vote on election day.
Perfect.
Okay, you can register on election day and vote on election day. Okay, so I just want to, I try to educate, people as I go out in the community as well, to let them know, don't say they get the last day to register. No, the last day to receive a vote by mail. If you want one in the mail, you have to get in there by October 21st. However, if you don't make it, feel free to go to the polls and register and vote.
That's perfect. That
Yeah.
is that, you know what? We needed that. I needed that cleanup. And I appreciate the cleanup.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm very much guilty of saying, we got a deadline for you to register.
Yeah.
And thank you for that cleanup. And see, those are those little tidbits that people need to hear, right? And all of us are seasoned voters. But I've been guilty. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a day though?
Thankfully, yes.
Is there a day though for those that are doing mail vote by mail? Is there a deadline for that one though, for signing up?
I'm sorry, you said, is there a
A
deadline?
deadline for anybody that's gonna vote by mail.
Yes, that's the October
October
21st day.
21st.
So if you want to
Okay.
receive, yes, a vote by mail ballot, then yes, you do need to register by October 21st. Yes, ma'am. And I don't mind, I can get some voter registration cards over to you, and then you can have them readily available in your lobby area, when guests are there, if they have any questions, the registration cards will be right there.
Now, if there are individuals that live outside of the United States, they're U.S. citizens, what is that deadline for mail-in ballots? For those are expats, those individuals that live outside of the country.
Right. So for example, like our military voters, all those good people. Let me get back to you on that actual hard date. But again, if I'm not mistaken, the county should already know that they're not here to vote, or so they should have already reached out to our military men and women.
Okay.
Yes, they should have already reached out to them per the government. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And also, Aisha, I remember at that power forum a couple weekends ago, you stated some numbers that were pretty amazing when it came to LA County and the city of Inglewood. Would you mind sharing that info?
Wow. Okay, not a problem. Thank you, for that. Currently, in our primary election, we have about 20, I want to say we have about 24, 25 approximately million registered voters.
That's LA.
LA County, yes.
Wait,
Of that,
20.
less than 30% of those people voted for the primary. We only had about 28 point something percent of people that went to the polls in March. That's horrible. I mean, it's sad. And so we really need to, get out there and push. I was speaking at the forum and I told people the way you have to do that is you have to take people to the polls when you go to the polls. Or if you're filling out your ballot, go next door and say, hey, did you fill out your ballot? Let's fill it out together. Like, you really have to take that extra initiative to ensure that we're not only registered to vote, but we're voting. Because people, we're not voting. The numbers are so low. And LA County to have so many people registered to vote and we're not going to the polls is disheartening. It's sad. It's even for our own city here in Inglewood, you know, we have about 63,000 people registered to vote here in the city of Inglewood. And we get maybe 17,000 total to go to the polls. That's horrible.
On the off years, Inglewood tends to run low to mid 20% of registered voters. And then when there's a push with the major elections, like the presidential election here, we'll average somewhere between mid 30s, maybe up to 40%.
If that, yeah.
So of registered voters.
Of registered, that's
registered. So that does not include those who are not registered.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they're not voting if they're registered.
And Inglewood has about 113 residents here in the city.
Wow.
You know, it's about 62,000 people are registered to vote.
So you said
of
about
that,
130,000 residents and only less than 50%.
no, about 113,000
113,000
residents here in
Okay.
Inglewood. And of the 113, we have about 62,000 people registered to vote. And even of the 62,000, you may get about 23,000 people to go to the polls, maybe. And that's and that's because of the presidential election.
Mhm.
That's
We have
not-
a question from Tia.
Yeah, sorry, I have to jump off because I have a presentation myself at noon, Aisha, but good to see you again. I
Oh.
saw you the other weekend like Owen did, and you were fabulous. I have a couple of questions. One, my grandmother just moved in with me. She's 94. She moved in from La Mirada. And so I want to make sure I'm taking the right steps so that she can vote. What should I do to ensure that she can vote other than just take her with me? Is there anything else I can do where she can be able to vote and not have to leave the house?
Yes, that's the vote by mail. You know, as you said she's registered now
She's
because
registered, but it went to that where she lives now, and I guess I'll just have to try to go back and figure it out to get that ballot.
Well, you still have time to get her re-registered so
Okay.
that you can get a ballot sent to your home for her possible ability. However, if not, let me look into that for you, Tia.
Okay.
Because again, you know, because of her age, there may be somewhere really, really close to you too that you can take her, you
Yeah.
know, so that, you know, you may not have to take her too far to
Yeah.
go and vote if that's the case. And again, we don't want her to vote provisional. La Mirada is outside of the county of Los Angeles. Am I correct?
Yes, it
Oh.
is. And I do go right up to Carson. We live less than a mile from the Carson Community Center, and she could go with me. I mean, that's where we vote.
Okay.
But I just want to see if there were any other provisions because she's so excited about voting this year.
Tia, take her to the poll, baby.
What-
This
what-
is
but
I
this is
know. I'm just gonna
historical.
have
She
to
won't-
figure it out. It's just so many people, and it's hard for her to stand for a long amount of
Yeah.
time. So I'm trying to figure it all out. But I may just have
She-
to talk to our folks in Carson about that. Yeah.
Tia, also because La Mirada is outside of the county of Los Angeles, she will not be on the roster. And so so she would have to vote provisional, and you don't want to do that. So if you can at least get the voter registration card turned into the county, then she would be on a roster. So that would make it easier for her, because if not, then she would have to go to that county to where she was living.
Okay, I will work on that ASAP. Thank you so
Okay.
much for that. And then talk to Owen because we have a cigar lounge in Inglewood and we'd love for you to get us some voter registration cards. So he'll
Absolutely.
give you the details. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for
Good to see
dialing
you.
in,
Yeah.
Tia.
Good to see
Don't
you
be a
guys.
stranger
Bye-bye.
with us,
I
okay?
won't. I usually have presentations around the same time. That's the issue. I got to reschedule better.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.
The other thing that I want to say is there's quite a bit of information, thanks guys, you know, that are being dropped in the chat box that are electronic links that folks can use, you know, to validate. Because I've actually seen myself on either my Facebook page or whatever, somewhere, might have even been LinkedIn, where it says for you can check your registration,
Mhm.
you know, so that Joseph, you had something you wanted to add?
her mother should be able, her grandmother or mother, I can't remember
Grandmother.
which,
Grandmother.
should be able to register online and just indicate that she was previously registered at a different address and change it to Los Angeles County where she lives now. And there's still time to do that. I put the link in the chat.
Yeah,
I will
thank
You
you.
don't have
reach
to
out
go
to
anywhere to register. You can actually do it online.
Right. And I was going to say that you can do it online. We got plenty of time to still get people voted because we haven't even received, at least I haven't received the sample ballots at all. I think they're coming out on the 7th. So we got
Exactly.
time.
Awesome.
Guys, you know, Aisha, I know how your time is, and I just want to thank you for. And Owen is a back of the house kind of person. You know, he combed his hair. He got on a nice shirt today, so he got ready for this presentation. He was so worried about Robin. You know, I don't like to be out front. No, you own the theater. You're gonna have to be out front. So
That's
I'm pushing
right.
you.
That's
So
right.
we just appreciate you guys creating an alliance with the community briefing. We ask that this not be your last time. We ask that you send us the resource information. If you can't dial in, send it to us, and whatever you got going on, we will put it in our chat box and we will add it to our social media. But understand that because you've come on here, you're part of the family now. You're part of the family, and we need you guys, because the whole mission of the community briefing is to impart information, to identify resources, and to support whoever's supporting the Black community.
Okay, I love it. And all you have to do is call me. I'll be here.
I got your number. I told you, I got your number now.
Yes,
And Owen, thank you again for, you know, when I called him and I said, look, how can we need to reach these young males in particular. We need to reach young people, but especially these young males. And so again, I was just thinking about what are the businesses that are open late in the day, later into the evening, where these individuals congregate. And so I'll get with Tia so that we can easily, you know, include her cigar lounge. You know, these are business owners in our community that we need to support. But more importantly, these are business owners who need you to vote.
Absolutely.
So that we have the funding that we need to keep our community safe and keep our culture in our own backyard.
Okay.
So again, I just want to thank you guys. I know you both need to run. I'm not pushing you off, but I knew time was of essence for you. So I'm gonna let you up off the mat today.
Thank you. Okay, you got it.
And I do want to say this to our young men. So that's excellent for that foster care, because they're stuck on, you know, Kamala put everybody in jail, and therefore I am not voting for her. We got to help push them past that, or get them as much information on that, because that can be very damaging. I watched it after the debate the other day. They interviewed some individuals that were in a focus group, and everyone that were voting for Trump prior to this debate came back and said, "Oh no, we're done," except for these two young men. Nothing could persuade these two young men. They're stuck wherever they are. And I've spoken to a lot of my friends that have young men, their sons are young men, same issue. We got to be able to get them past that she's the enemy and Trump is not. And they're looking at, because he talks tough, because he does this, you know, he's for us, he's going to do this for us. I don't know what it is that we need to do to get past the blockage. But that should be our focus, because that's what's stopping them. And Joseph is shaking his head because he knows he's had these conversations. We've all had these conversations with young men
I
in our
stopped
community.
having them because I'm old and I lose my patience quickly. I've stopped having them. A lot of people are looking for an excuse to vote for Trump because they just like him for some reason. I hear about how prices were better when he was president, and I said, you know, everything goes up over time.
Yeah.
Prices will be higher 4 years from now than they are now. So get ready for that and figure out how you're going to make the adjustment. If you think gas prices would automatically go back to what they were when Trump took office by voting for him, then you're a fool. And unfortunately, I'm no longer willing to suffer fools. I'd rather spend my time working with persuadable people, maybe some apathetic people, but anybody that is just stuck on foolishness after it's been debunked and disproven thousands of times, I can't deal with that. I just can't.
Joseph, I
That's
agree
me.
with you in this whole idea that they got a stimulus check from him. No, he put his signature on a check that the Democrats got approved.
He would
right?
like to have put his face on that check if he could have, because he knows one thing, and it's the power of branding.
Yeah.
He stamps his name on all kinds of stuff that he doesn't own and had little to nothing to do with. Meanwhile, things he actually owned, like casinos, go bankrupt and go out of business. How do you lose money running a casino? You're
Intentional.
supposed to be so
The
smart.
bankruptcy is intentional.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and you had something you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I remember one of the, get out the vote, get out, get people to register and connecting with young people does happen at entertainment venues and with entertainers. I can't say too much on the details, but it looks like D Smoke last year he was here for his birthday concert.
Yes.
That was October 17th. And it looks like he's going to bring a few shows here in October. So when I get the precise info, once, I'll let him do the official announcement, but look for that. And he's one of these guys. I mean, he certainly will help push that. So that's something I'll put that in on my list of things to talk to him about, because I know he would help the cause for sure.
Again, you guys, I know you guys need to run, and then we're going to have Emma is going to come up and talk about what we got coming up leading up to the election. But again, don't do it out, guys. This is your platform. This is also your platform. We are here to educate, illuminate, resources, and support. So don't do without.
Okay, and thank you again to everyone for the invitation, especially Robin. Please don't be a stranger to my office neither.
Yes.
The office is wide open. And if you guys have anyone that that can come to my office, we'll be open from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. with the doors wide open. They can come in. We close at 5:30, but I'm saying the fun time and games and snacks will be, given at between 8 and 4. But, please, invite them to come to the office. I do have an Instagram. It's the City Clerk, Inglewood City Clerk on Instagram. I have a Facebook page as well. So please help me help you guys by inviting people to come down to City Hall on next Tuesday, 8 o'clock until 4 o'clock. I'll be here answering questions and having fun with our community.
Is there a flyer that we can send out with our blast and put on our social media?
Yes, ma'am, I do have a flyer, and I can I have an email and I'll get it sent to you guys.
C. Mitchell 544@gmail.com.
You'll see it.
And I think you have mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I should put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Put what? I'm sorry.
Since we're broadcasting on Facebook, I would put your email and phone numbers in the chat versus.
Yeah, well, mine's is all over the world now anyway.
Yeah, that part. Yeah. And
ahead.
Inglewood is every other Friday closed. So is tomorrow an on day or off day?
It's an off day for us.
There you go.
Look, you see, we're casual today.
Yeah.
It's an off Friday tomorrow. Yes, but I'm the city clerk, so I work every day in a sense. So if you need me, I'm available.
Okay, so I put it in the chat, but if you got it, that'd be fine. Send that to me and I'll make sure it's included in our blast, and I'll put it in as an event on our social media pages.
Will do. Thank you guys so much.
Okay,
Take care, guys.
Okay, bye.
Thank
you, guys.
Be in touch.
All right, Miss
Emma.
Emma.
Okay,
how
hi.
was
Sarah, looks like you're in the fire zone. Sarah, you okay?
We actually had our first meeting at the townhouse last night.
I'm fine.
It wasn't as many people as we expected, but we had quite a few people. We actually went over, we are going to stick to our agenda because we think that what we've outlined on the agenda are really important for people to understand throughout this 8-week period. So we talked about voting. Thank you. And put the flyer in the message. I was trying to copy it, but I couldn't pull it up.
I put it in.
Okay, thank you. So we talked about the voting registration. We actually had someone there that was actually anyone that came in needed to vote, register, they were able to do so. Fortunately, most of the people were people that were already registered. A lot of people from the school board, community neighborhood councils, and we really need that. And we talked about the importance of bringing someone next week that can benefit from what we're doing. And we decided next week, I don't know if you guys know Cherie Franklin, she's going to come in and talk about the measures and the propositions. So that week next week we'll cover the measures and propositions. Doesn't mean we won't talk about it again, but we're trying to identify each week a subject matter that we have on our agenda to inform the community. We will have the school board, because we haven't received the ballot, so we don't really know what's on there. But there was Dr. Bates, he was there last night. He wanted to come in and talk about the school board and how they're trying to make changes in LA County. And I really enforce that this isn't just LA County that have the ability to come. We want people to come from Inland Empire, Orange County, Long Beach, LA, it doesn't matter. And one of the things that several people were happy to hear that, because whatever's going to be on the ballot may not be, I'm in District 10, so whatever's on the ballot may not be the same thing that's on your ballot. So, but we still want people to get the information, and we will help them. Carolyn Flowers was there last night. She's been amazing. She will be there, she said, at every meeting, and she's excited about what we're doing. So really, we do need the support. We do have a little refreshments to keep you going, but no meals, and the bar isn't open. But it was amazing, and we were really trying to convince a lot of the people to get involved with the children. And some of the comments that we got back that the young people are doing, I've experienced that myself. I actually walk in my community and go to the barbershops, the beauty supplies, the boutiques in the Crenshaw area. And some of the comments people are saying about Kamala is just unbelievable, because they're ignorant. I mean, that's all I can say. And these aren't kids. These are young adults
people
that know better.
Grown people.
Grown people. And they just don't want to vote for her. So we really have to get that message out, and people that can relate to them. And it's not all about TikTok and the social media. It's really bad the way but we tell them every vote counts. So we're trying to do what we can to get them to register, which some won't. And by the way, if you know people that don't have an address, they can legally use your address to receive their voting material. And that is permissible. So if people it's just in between, it's okay to do that. So but they want to vote, they want to participate, but because they're, in between homes, etc., we can help them as well. So if you can come next Wednesday, and we are trying to get as much information that we can. And I went to the website, and there's a lot of information now. The propositions are out there. You can see what they are, but we got a lot of things to do as far as the propositions are concerned, and also the measures, things that we really need to agree to vote on. We also have a couple of judges that want to come to the meetings, and we're going to have a day designated for them to help us select judges, the process, and the best way to do it. We can't by law tell you how to vote. You guys are on your own how you vote, but if we can assist you in any way, because some people will not fill out that ballot unless they are sitting next to someone that's going to help them, we can do that. So, and anything that I can do, please call me, Roz, and whatever we can do. And I'm out here. In fact, I have a Zoom call tonight for doing a presentation on certifications, but I will be out. I'm going to Inglewood. I talked to Miss Gloria Gray, who is their council person, and I've gotten in touch with Mr. Bryant, District 10. He's up north, but he's going to come to one of the meetings. So we're just trying to get the word out to anyone that want to be involved and to get people to vote, whatever means necessary. And by the way, the best way to get the voter registrations, if you don't do it online, you are available to do it online. You have to go to the libraries. The post office will not give them to you, or they'll say they don't have them, but the libraries have them. So I have a whole stack. Anybody need any? I got them. Anybody?
I have a big event going on with my tennis program this weekend, so I'll copy some of the flyers and have them for
Perfect.
handout. We have we're having a health fair at the park on Saturday, so the parents and the kids will be out there. So I'll do that. The other thing is, we're the measures and the all of that is important, but we got to make sure that we're voting down ballot because it will make no difference if she will have the same situation President Obama had if we don't make sure that there's a balance of power in the House. So we got to make sure the Congress, and we have the House of Reps. So they got to be voting for senators and everybody and understand who that is because that's really going to affect it. And to my understanding from reading Project 25, if we don't get that House, then we got a problem with Project 25. It's coming in one way or the other, and she won't be able to stop it because she won't have any support. She won't have no one backing her up, and she'll spend her.
And when you think about it, they've already kind of laid those tracks already. State Supreme Court is a prime example, and moving the abortion thing to the states. So they're and trying to get rid of Affordable Care Act. So the movement is already happening. I think one of the things that I shared the other day, and somebody said, Robin, repeat that again. Remind folks that when you were in elementary school and you guys were electing officers for your elementary school class, you put together your little campaign. Here you are 8, 9, 10 years old, actively engaged in a campaign that either elected your classmate or you got elected. It's the same importance. It's that same drive. And I think that we need to make sure that we're talking to the little kids. These little kids have serious influence on their parents. And I'm so over the moon about Taylor Swift because she's going to bring in those girl dads who historically have not really paid attention to what their daughters are saying around this kind of thing. But these kids are serious about their lifestyle, who they see as a hero and a shero. And I'm elated that she wrote that missive that she wrote and signed it with the childless cat lady. That just took it over the moon. And then Angela, what's her name? The WNBA Stara. She signed on with her. So right now, what we need is Kendrick Lamar. We need Jay-Z. We need 50 Cent.
All of them.
We need those guys because what we do know is this: women are out here. Women have their sleeves pushed up.
And
sweat on their brow, and women are out here. So we need our counterparts to show up. So tell the story about being a kid and having an election in your classroom and how excited you were for the candidate and the work that you did to get them elected. It's the same thing.
Right. And it's about democracy. It's about us making sure you have freedom. Men seem to think it's only a woman's responsibility to have a baby. It is not. And if you go out and start impregnating women, man, your household budget gonna be ridiculously expensive. Because I bet you if we turn the tables on every man that gets a woman pregnant is immediately child support of $1,200 a month, we'll get some attention, right? Because right now it's all on the responsibility of the woman. It is not just the woman's responsibility. But if you're forcing women to have babies that they cannot afford, and the man is just as much as involved, but immediately, so if you're going to be tracking women when they get pregnant, then let's track to make sure you getting their money on the backside of that. Yeah, there'd be a different conversation. It truly will be a different conversation. Wish a man could have a baby, and then we wouldn't be having this conversation at all. But
Right. Well,
at the
it would
end
be
of the
nice, I'm sorry, to get a forum where we can bring a lot of our young men and adults, men, because they won't come to the townhouse, the ones that we wanted, that need to hear the message, or they won't come to that we're doing and talk about voting. We got to figure out what can we do to get the message to them.
Open the
And
bar.
who can lead that? I'm sorry.
I was teasing. I said open
Which
the
is,
bar.
or
well,
comedians.
we could,
Comedians are
well,
especially
you know what?
especially
Yeah,
comedians that are politically, like Chris Rocks and DL Hughley's,
yeah,
Josh
I
Johnson.
talked to him. He
Yeah.
said that he would come Wednesdays. He's doing an event at the Ice House every week in Burbank. So that's the reason he can't make it on Wednesday. If it was another night, he would make an exception. And the reason why we were able to get a hold of him, one of his schoolmates worked there at the townhouse, so they put us in touch. But if we can figure out another night, God, to talk and listen to someone like him, just to understand this isn't no joke, and this is about your future.
And maybe that's cigar bars. Maybe that's things like that. Josh Johnson is also a young comedian that has been very prolific in his conversations about what's going on in politics, but which would be like a young Chris Rock and DL Hughley today. They will listen to them. And I know Josh Johnson has this whole thing he did on Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and he had over one video I saw, he had over 175 followers and listeners to that event. He has about 365,000 followers, period. But those are the kind of conversations that need to be, they will listen to their own peers so that they won't be confused. But here the other night, one thing that Trump said when they kept asking him what was his policy, and at the same time they asked him about Project 25, and he said he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't answer about the policies because his policy is Project 2025, and he's trying to distance himself from that. But that is his policy. That's why he can't answer that question. And childcare and all that sort of stuff is all embedded in that 952 or 25-page document. So that's why he's not answering it.
Well, he doesn't read at all. So he's probably telling the truth that he hasn't read it.
Right. No, he hasn't read it, but he knows what's in it.
He knows. but they tell him they can't get him to read. They can't get him to sit still. His hairstylist was saying they can't get him to sit still for enough time, for 30 minutes, for the color to set in. So so he doesn't read. But JD Vance now is tied to the Heritage Foundation.
Yeah, but you guys, I'm like Joseph. I don't give them any quarter. Because anything that comes out of his mouth, is never going to be the truth.
Right.
And so, Crystal, one of the points that you made, that was the reason why I called on, because I know he has the comedy acts that are coming there. He has these young entertainment people that are coming there. He uses on his nonprofit side, he uses his community space to allow this foster care group to come in there. So however we can help to e-blast that information and that process, I think that it's critical. This is so very critical. You're right, Crystal. This is all about democracy.
Yeah, it's about democracy. It's about our freedom. There's a lot at stake for women, and there's a lot at stake for Black men and minorities. Yeah. But in that order.
And to your point, the middle class that got wiped out, that we're trying to rebuild, and the folks who are trying to move to that realm, right? So it's anybody that don't, just what I call it regular folks. The everyday people are the ones that are going to suffer if we get the wrong person in office.
Right, exactly. So
I'm convinced that we're going to get someone to talk about the Project 2025 also, and we can't get so much in it. I mean, anything you look at is terrible, but I'm convinced that the electoral ballot is rigged. I think they've already decided how the president is going to win. He is so confident he's going to win. he don't care about the majority vote. So I don't know how we can overcome that, and if that's the case. But I don't trust what's been done, because this project 2025 has so much stuff in it. I can't even believe anyone sat there and said, we're going to do this and hurt a mass of people. So it's
And my
serious.
point, my point being is that they've already started. This is just the document.
Yes,
This is just a document. They've already started.
This is the era of the unbelievable.
Yes.
You think not, it can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we, regards to how many people we get out to vote, because you don't win a presidential election by your voting numbers. It's the electoral college. And I do believe that they have got it set up so that they have guaranteed the winners already. And I don't know how we can fix that or overcome
I did
that.
see yesterday.
Fight.
Yeah, and I did see yesterday something came up that they are doing something, because they are very much aware of all the attorneys. When I'm on the Win to Black Women, they are all the attorneys in that group of women and California Collective Women, they have their attorneys in place, and they're putting some earmarks, and I think AOC is working on that, as well as Donna Brazil, because she's on that call every week. So they are working on that behind the scenes. I guess we're not hearing about it because then, let him feel confident. Just like he felt confident that he was going to come in and win that debate the other day and got his slap down by his mama called Kamala Harris. Because every look she had, I've seen that look on my mama, and we got the same mama's name, Robin Rose, and I've seen every one of those looks when you went deep into the waters, like. And then, as Joseph said, don't let me have to knock the block off you. And in his case, the orange.
He never looked at her one time during that debate, but he felt every punch. Every punch. I kid you not.
And for people who have experience with debating, it's been so lovely to hear their responses to how she managed that, how she controlled it, how she paced it, and how she ended up with her campaign slogan, "We're never going back."
Right. No, back.
I think that he totally has he kept saying that everybody's dumb. They're dumb and they're stupid and all of that. And he believed his own hype. But he forgot the chick is a prosecutor.
Right, exactly. No, I love
it.
He
knows now. Dealing with his types.
I love it when he turned 6 and said, and he doesn't even like you. He hates you. He melted down to a 6-year-old.
Oh my God.
And that really fried his eggs. Everything that she said that was very elementary is what fried his eggs. Okay. So Owen, thanks again for coming on. Again, you and Emma are out there doing some work that our community needs. And Sarah, thank you again for allowing us to have this platform. And to my team, Greg, I didn't say this to you yet, but we missed you the day that I was supposed to be in charge of getting us kicked off. I forgot everything we hear you every week, and it's so smooth every week. And when it's time for me to open up the show, I was like, wait a minute. What does Greg normally say? So I'm paying big accolades to you, my brother. And then finally, guys, next week is Sammy Davis Jr.'s 100th birthday.
He's still alive?
No.
Oh.
But I attended the celebration last night at the Hollywood Bowl on tap. Savion Glover and 3 female tap dancers were there. Christian McBride, Terrence Blanchard, and Ben Vereen. And so it was just, they showed a video of the Nicholas brothers, one of their shows. It was just lovely. And, we are in a time period where we're losing we're not losing. The Lord is calling home our foundational folks, James Earl Jones, Sergio Mendez.
Oh my God.
The king of soul, the king of smooth soul, Frankie Beverly.
Frankie Beverly.
We pay homage to these individuals who gave us entertainment and music that will last the test of time, truly.
Yeah, that was, although I knew he was sick, and why he retired, but it didn't hurt less. And James Earl Jones, and he was still relatively young and still out there active. James Earl Jones had kind of went to the background a little bit. We've lost quite a few people this week.
So we're gonna pray that Carter makes it to November so he can vote for his 100. That's it. That's what he wants for his 100th
That's all he wants for his birthday.
He wants to be able to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim. And again, what a combination. What a combination. What a combination.
Right. Yeah. That was awesome. So that was definitely different from the last debate, but we still got a lot of work to do. And as we said, thank you, Greg. As we said, we just can't just think it's just about her. We got to make sure that on ballot, because that we can't have her go through 4 years of fighting through the minutia that Biden has gone through, and definitely Obama went through. Who was it yesterday? I saw Elizabeth Warren say, they asked her how did she feel about the debate. She goes, "Oh, that was the best smackdown I've ever seen." She said, "And I can't wait to see her fighting those people in Congress. I can't wait." And those corporate people, she was super excited. So yeah, so we got to make sure that that happens. So however we can help Emma, we were there. We'll keep marketing.
Yeah, please do. Trump said that there's no need for another debate since he won. I thought that was comical. He won. There's no need for a second debate. So
he said, "Let some others have a chance. I don't want to share all. I don't want to take everything. Let some other people have a share."
Greg, thank you for the beautiful background music.
I like it.
So with that, guys, we are going to sign out. Thank you, Owen, for coming out. And we will see you all next week. Yeah, that look right there. And so look at also everyone go to the YouTube channel, to our YouTube channel. I put up the show for Yolanda Beckles last week.
I saw it yesterday.
Please share that. Greg, I know Greg said there was a meeting yesterday. He got it over to one of his frat brothers or friends.
I think the meeting was Tuesday.
Okay.
And I sent the recording of it to the number 3 person in command of BSAP.
Okay. So we're sending that out. I put it up on LinkedIn. I've also did clips of it, shorts of it. So they're going to start airing every week, every day on our YouTube channel and on my other YouTube channels as well. Next week, we have California's Treasurer, Fiona Ma. And so come on out, everyone, so we can find out what's going on in our own local government and individuals that's taking care of the money in our city.
Right.
So talk to you guys all next week. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you then. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.